Hello anybody, and thanks for watching. This is Monday Morning Handicapping. This is my race review episode or video 001, and there's a corresponding race preview for every race review. The preview, I talk about who I like and why, and in the review we look at the race that has already run and see where my pick wound up, why it wound up there, whether it won or lost, and just dissect the race and see what happened. So this is the Preakness Stakes from 2024, 13th race at Pimlico, second leg of the Triple Crown, mile and 3/16. It was a muddy track. Technically, not sure if they considered it sealed fast, but there's definitely moisture in the track. So we're going to just quickly recap who I liked, a little bit of why, and then we'll watch the replay. Also discuss a little bit of the pace scenario that I foresaw. So if you saw my race preview video, you'll know that I picked Catching Freedom. I thought his closing style in a field like this where I projected some pace coming from the 8 and the 9 especially, maybe a little 7, maybe a little 6, sprinkled up front, and maybe the 5 to be close to at least keep them honest. The 4 was Scratched, who I think definitely would have ensured a quick pace, but Catching Freedom, I just thought he had a little bit of traffic in the Kentucky Derby. He'd be a little bit closer to the Kentucky Derby winner this time around, not run into, again, any traffic. And he almost ran down the Kentucky Derby winner in that race. But if Catching Freedom this time around could not run into any trouble or traffic, then I felt like he will be able to pass Mystic Dan this time around. So let's go ahead and take a look. So my horse is in the 3 path here, Mystic Dan in the 5, 8 and the 9 I thought were definitely going to be contending for the lead to set a quick pace, and they would eventually get tired, and my 3 would be able to run them down with his style, getting a little bit closer. Now if you'll notice, one of these front runners, this 8, kind of gets pinched off by the 7 and is forced to take back. So now he's in between horses, 9 cuts over in front of him, the jockey of the 8 decides to cut down. My 3 gets out cleanly, no traffic, unlike the Kentucky Derby. Sits right behind Mystic Dan, the Kentucky Derby winner right here with the green cap. One of the front runners that I expected to be up there is going very wide in the first turn, which I find a little peculiar. It relegates this horse, who is 9-1 on the morning, or not morning line, 9-1 odds, kind of a lone lead by a length, and this 9 is still just staying out wide, giving him the inside run, which he's saving ground, running less distance overall. My 3 sitting there, Catching Freedom, going nice and easy, no traffic, no one really around him, hopefully avoiding kickback. It looks like the jockey's got him in between these 2 horses, so he's not getting too much mud in the face. The other front runner back here, that 8 that I thought would be contesting for the lead, is relegated to the back. Doesn't look like he's going to be any part of the pace scenario or even a win contender at this point. Now the racing's starting to pick up a little bit. 6 still in front by a length and change. Mystic Dan, looks like his jockey's getting to work on him, and he's making a nice move. Catching Freedom in the blue cap here, just kind of needs to pick it up and find an opening between these 4 horses. Mystic Dan bumps the front runner a little bit there, starting to straighten out now. My horse making his move on the outside's looking good. However, they're not making enough ground. The wire's coming. They're going to have to pass this 6. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to pass him. My horse does end up running 3rd. It's a close call here. Not for first, obviously, but for 2nd and 3rd. My horse runs 3rd. So if you look at the fractions, it was moderate to semi-quick early. 24 flat. They picked it up for the second quarter, going around the turn, I believe. So that's kind of surprising. Usually they slow down around the turn. 3/4 of a mile from 47 to 111, so 24.5 seconds. Next quarter mile was 25.6, and then the final 3/16 was 19 seconds. So the race semi-slowed down throughout. I thought that would favor Catching Freedom, who's kind of a late closer. Well, definitely a late closer. I just thought if the race was slowing down, he would be able to pass him by, but apparently didn't slow down enough. The horse in front here, this gray horse, was able to keep a high enough top speed to where the closers couldn't pass him. Obviously, no one could, not even Mystic Dan, who was closer up than Catching Freedom. So Catching Freedom was running a little faster later than Mystic Dan because of how much ground he made up on him in the stretch. Still kind of pass him for second, but also went a little wider entering the stretch. So he ran a little further around. So to go back and look at the winner and just kind of look at maybe what I overlooked, his speed figures, these bold numbers right here, are steadily improving. His last time out, it was a 1 turn mile, and he ran very quick fractions, at least up on the lead, much quicker than they ran today. Ran his best race last time out, so the horse just ran his best race and is coming into this very prestigious race. Arrogate, his sire, very accomplished horse. Some say one of the greatest of all time. And this horse is just really coming into its own at the age of 3, so every right to keep improving. And he just got away with a uncontested early lead, really, and that really helps out horses running on the front end when they're not being pressed by other horses. They're looking eye to eye, battling. Kind of got an easy trip. He still, had to outrun other really accomplished, well-regarded horses, and he held on and won easily by, I'd say, almost 2 lengths. So all credit is due to Cisa Gray. I wouldn't say he was the fresher horse because he also ran on Derby Day, but just got a good trip. Nice, did not seem to mind the mud and held everyone else off. Got an easy trip. If there's more pace in the race, things could have been different, but today was his day. And congratulations to the owners of the horse. And Catching Freedom maybe just needs a better setup, or maybe is a notch below the grade 1 level. Time will tell, but I definitely think he needs a fast pace to run into. So we'll see what happens next, but that's kind of my breakdown of the Preakness stake. Anyways, that was Preakness from 2024. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.